605 Chaser, welcome to the show. We're going to give you a few moments here, but I want to thank you very much. Thank our wonderful sponsors, Fit Revolution, Mission Nutrition, and Refuel for sponsoring us and your 7-day forecast for South Dakota areas, as well as much of the forecast. We also have Prairie Pro General Contractors. If you need a new roof or siding after the storms, they can hook you up at a reasonable price. Go ahead and check them out today. Call them at 605-880-7776 and get a free estimate. Thanks everybody for joining, and we're going to go ahead and get right to it. 7-day forecast for Sioux Falls. You heard me talk about it for a number of days now. And it's no lie. We are definitely looking at possibility of some storms approaching our area for Wednesday into Thursday. So Wednesday night into Thursday and Thursday night. That is kind of a precursor for another ramp up of plains insanity, so to speak. But we'll have to get through the warm weather to begin with. We got almost 90 for today. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be approaching that 90 and maybe even teeter-tottering closer to 100. It's crazy to think that. Let's go ahead and take a look at areas of Aberdeen. We're going to be definitely pretty darn warm, and unfortunately, fire weather watches are issued for these areas as well. We do have some relief coming in on Tuesday night for the Aberdeen, South Dakota area. And some of those storms could end up having the slight risk of severe. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Areas of Rapid City, a little bit cooler for today, 70s, and we won't get near as muggy and hot out west until we get into Wednesday night and Thursday, and that can end up being kind of a mugginess because of the fact that we're going to have some of those dew points kind of pushing in there. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Pierre, South Dakota. You're going to have a breezy start of your work week. Sunday, we're going to have those winds gusting out of the south at nearly 35 miles per hour. And we do have the risk of fire weather watches as well for there. Wednesday night, again, storms are likely Wednesday night. Let's get to all of that. But before we do, I want to remind folks that we will be doing some live storm chasing um, next week. If all of this holds true, and that's likely going to be somewhere in the South Dakota or Iowa or Nebraska area. So we're going to be needing you to stay tuned for that, and we'll definitely give you that information the closer we get. We want to make sure that you do a follow here. Walk Stars is in here. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and take a look at your overall outlooks, what we got going on. Not much, really quiet for much of the U.S., except for areas of Florida Panhandle there, or the East Coast line, even up into areas of Virginia, uh, over by Kitty Hawk area, Virginia Beach. Those areas are expecting slight risk of some severe hail as well as a few gusty winds. What's the risk for the tornado activity? Is Memphis, Tennessee okay today? Yeah, today you're good. It got pretty rocky there yesterday. So the risk for tornado activity for today is going to be mainly in the Panama City, the panhandle of Florida area, and then up along the Daytona Beach, Palm Coast, Orlando, and Palm Bay areas. Not sure if I have any Florida folks in this chat here today, but nonetheless. So again, areas of Memphis, Tennessee are going to be fine today. Tomorrow, we do still have marginal risk for areas of Florida. That does include some uh, areas more of the central and northern part of Florida. It's just going to kind of stay over that area for the next couple of days or few days. As you can see with day 3 SPC severe outlook, I think the risk for the tornado activity is likely going to be less Here's the risk for tomorrow's tornado risk. Still is 2%. Is Georgia going to get rain today? Georgia, you're likely to get rain. You're in the general thunderstorms in the northern half of Georgia, and then the southern half, you're in that marginal risk for today. I'm just kind of going over the risks that are for tomorrow for tornado activity and wind activity here. So I appreciate you joining. Thank you, Lindsay. Ridgeway, Illinois, weather for today and tomorrow is rain over. All right, let me get back to today's stuff. Now that we got the chatter going, that's great. We go to this section here. Whoops. There we go. All right, so Ridgeway, Illinois, you're not expecting anything as far as precip goes for the next number of days, at least according to SPC severe weather outlooks for day 1. Lindsay Morgan, you absolutely love when it storms. Well, that's great. Well, if you love storms, but you love being able to watch from the comfort of your own home, look out. I'm going to be doing some live coverage here next week in my home state of South Dakota if everything can play out the way that we're expecting it. That's starting in midweek next week. So, Ridgeway, Illinois, weather for today and tomorrow is rain over. Yes, yes, you guys are done with that. You're welcome, Crip. All right, and I do want to make a broadcast announcement. There was a video that I made yesterday, and I posted on TikTok and Facebook. It said basically not able to broadcast live in the field storm chasing on TikTok. Let me clarify. I choose not to, and the reason why is there's so many stipulations, and you can get banned very easily if you're. So let's say you're driving along, even if you have a driver in the car, somebody that's driving you, and you're watching all the radars and all that stuff. So it's really not anything close to dangerous because you got people that are assisting you with that because you're actually driving and something, I don't know if it's with the algorithm or whatever, uh, and it is deemed as dangerous. Yes, it is dangerous to do storm chasing, but broadcasting that in a live scene uh, makes it very difficult for me to broadcast on multiple platforms. So, in order for me to be able to do broadcasting live in the field storm chasing, I'm strictly going through YouTube as well as Facebook, just because. And it's not that I don't love my followers on TikTok. The issue is strictly I don't want to get banned on TikTok. I don't want to have that happen to me. And obviously I love my followers. So what I'll end up doing is if you feel you want to be able to see some of that stuff this next week, I encourage you to come follow me on Facebook as well as YouTube, and we'll get all of those going uh, when we do have that. And I am hoping to meet up with another team for that, so that's going to be amazing. So I appreciate y'all being here and following. Make sure that you tap, 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 and do the likes if you can. All right, so the current conditions, and then where is this significant severe weather expected to happen? Um, I'll kind of show you these areas of Virginia Beach area today, what that is expected to look like. It's mainly going to stay off the coastline. It's going to have a little bit later in the afternoon, late evening, as it progresses along here. Not a whole lot right there. Let's go take a look at Florida area. That's where we end up expecting to see a lot more in those areas. Now, the HRRR is suggesting that areas of southern Georgia could have some storms near Albany area, Americus, but I don't expect those to be anything real significantly severe. Nothing like you've had. Montgomery, Alabama area. Day one. So what that means is day one SPC, Storm Prediction Center Severe Outlook. So day one means today. And I probably should clarify those, but this was the best way that I could make that overlay. So day one SPC Severe Outlook is considered today's outlook. Um, so maybe that's a good point. I probably should say today, have it say today's severe outlook versus day one. I'll definitely work on that. 4 stars. Rome, Georgia tomorrow. For tomorrow's outlook, I'll have to take a look at the NAM 3K. Appreciate y'all joining. We're going to have this probably a shorter live than we typically do. And the reason why we're probably going to have this a little bit less of a live than what we typically do is I got gardening that I got to get done, and we're really not expecting any real major storms. That's expected to happen next week sometime in more of the central part of the U.S. So Rome, we're expected tomorrow, some light showers, maybe general thunderstorms, not anything huge. Anything for North Carolina? Hawk Talk, can we get more rain? That would be nice depending on where you're at. I guess there's a lot of people. You're welcome, Hannah. And let's take a look here. North Carolina area, we kind of covered that. I'll kind of go out a little bit further. This is with the NAM 3K. This was 2 a.m., so just be mindful. This is just a radar estimate. So it looks like sometime after 4 o'clock, you could have some thunderstorms up there. But again, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts is kind of the main thing that I'm expecting in those areas. Not really expecting anything. Of course, you're in a less than 2% risk for North Carolina. Most of the, all of the tornado risk is down in east coast of Florida, as well as the panhandle of Florida and parts of extreme Gulf Coast line of Alabama and Louisiana area. Thanks so much for joining. I appreciate it. And continue to smash that like button. Hey, Summer. See Summer's in here. Smitty 24/7. Beat Saver Player. Welcome. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that risk that I was talking to you about that is kind of what we're expecting to have happen over the middle part of next week. The reason why is this is the first time I'm looking at these this morning. So what I want to kind of look at is the GFS for right now because we really can't go out too far with this. But I want to look at the 500 millibar, and the reason why I want to look at this is I'm going to kind of see what this system is going to do, see where this trough is ejecting. That'll help me figure out, okay, where do I need to chase for Wednesday, Thursday time frame, and that's what we're expecting is kind of the Central Plains area, maybe even up to the Northern Plains. But as we move along here in time, you can see this shortwave trough. It's kind of ejecting. It, right here, and it's trying to get going, but it is very going to be very difficult to break that omega block pattern up. And that's what we're kind of having to deal with. As you can see, the GFS, now this is really not looking near as significant as it was. It looks like the better shot is Thursday, or a Friday, I should say. Looks like Friday is the better shot for possible severe weather, maybe in the Iowa, eastern Nebraska. Again, this is just based off of one model right now. The Euro seems to be doing a little bit better of a job. Let me take a look at that. Appreciate y'all joining. Go ahead and continue to like and share the live here. We're kind of going through just off the cuff stuff right now, trying to look at what possibly the 14th, 15th, 16th might have. Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be very messy, and I think most of the significant severe weather is going to be isolated further south than South Dakota area. Let me take a look at a few other things here. Might help me. If I take a look at the dew points, 1 second, I'm going to take a look at GFS. See if that moisture kicks up to the plains or not. I have a feeling it's not going to be near as much as it once was with the models over the last couple of days. They were doing great, showing some significant severe weather farther north, but now it's just looking like it's going to be a struggle. Yeah, it doesn't look that pretty anymore. I mean, things can change, so stay weather aware in the central part of the plains. The main thing that I would be concerned about would be on the 15th. Let me show you here. So, folks that are kind of in the Oklahoma City area on the 14th, even areas of Dallas, possibly over here, unfortunately, in McKinney area on the 14th, the afternoon of the 14th, those would be some areas. And the reason why I say that there's possibility of some significant severe weather there is one element that we need is we need that cooler, drier air mixing with the warm, moist air, and that's what we kind of have in these areas here. We got that 60, almost 70-degree dew points here, and then we do have that contrast where it's 30-degree dew points. If we move that along further, before I do, let me show you this. See how this is more broad? I mean, 50s and 60s. Thomas Bio 74. Anything coming for the Sioux Falls area? That's what I'm kind of looking at, and I there is a indication of some severe thunderstorms for possibly Wednesday and Thursday, but the models are really all over the place. So right now I'm not real confident on looking at this. Thursday looks to be more of the better day for the Sioux Falls area. You have the 60-degree dew points, but then it's not a huge sharp cutoff. The sharp cutoff would be down areas of like Kansas. That's where I think the main event for Wednesday and Thursday next week is going to be. So folks in Oklahoma, Kansas, maybe, just maybe, an area of western part of Nebraska. All depends on how that plays out because you got that contrast here as well, but it's not looking that pretty. Tupelo, Mississippi. I'll go ahead and get to that. Thanks for the follows. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and take a look at the outlooks here for today for Tupelo. So Tupelo, Mississippi, I believe you guys are in the extreme southern region. So let me take a look here. Boy, shows how much I know. Yep. I mean, I know weather, but I just have, as far as the geographic part of it, I'm learning a lot on that. Since you're in northern part of Mississippi, you're going to be hit or miss showers, general thunderstorms, nothing severe at all. So, Stargazer, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got. Kentucky area. Arizona, dude, 75. Kentucky, not expecting anything significant in Kentucky. You guys have had enough, haven't you? I mean, goodness, you guys really, the flooding is crazy over there. Let me pull up those hydros. I guess it wasn't too significant. I mean, the flash flooding was happening yesterday, some areas. All right, Kentucky. So we're not expecting anything huge over the next number of days for Kentucky. Uh, Day one, which is today. Day two, tomorrow. Day three, again, not anything significant, and not anything as far as rain goes in areas of Kentucky until day three, which would end up being basically your Sunday. Thanks for the follow, Donna Renee, 920. Appreciate it. And Missouri area. Missouri area, we're not expecting anything for the next 3 days at least, but I would watch out as we get into midweek next week. There's definitely indications that that far south that there definitely could be a possibility of some storms happening in the KCMO area. I've been saying that for I think like a whole week that things were going to kind of stay further south, but I think some people were like, "Oh yes, it's definitely going to hit areas of Sioux Falls." No, no, maybe not. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the radar estimates for next week. We'll have to take a look at NAM 12K. And as we go into areas of Missouri, let's fly on in there and see what that shows. Yeah, we're only able to go out to the 12th. So that's the tough part. So when we only have one weather model that we really can rely on for this far out, because it's such a long range, makes it very difficult to make a decent forecast. So just stay weather aware, because I definitely believe that the 14th, 15th, some areas of the southern plains are going to be ramping up again. So if we go to like the 14th, 15th time frame, now GFS is really ramping it up in areas of Pierre, South Dakota. Um, so it remains to be seen. Again, this is just one weather model. Uh, Western part of Nebraska, 14th and 15th. And then this doesn't put, this puts it far, the GFS is putting the storms farther north, whereas some of the other models, um, at least the Euro was suggesting things were going to be further south. So it all depends. Donna Renee, you're welcome. Thanks for the follow too. I appreciate it so much, and continue to support us. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going out even further here. Let's kind of see what this pattern is going to do. So it looks like an active weather pattern maybe for South Dakota, possibly. And then obviously southern plains, pretty intense storms possibly for the 18th. But again, this is like 10 days out. So I'm doing this just to kind of see. Uh, this is going to be all over the place. And so usually I don't like to forecast anything any further than 5 days out. And yeah, the 14th, we're a long ways from the 14th. But if we take a look at the 500 millibar, as I was showing a little bit ago, doesn't look too impressive as far as a trough ejecting in here. And what I kind of look for, you can see, let me kind of show you a little bit of a lesson here weather-wise. Let me show you. This is the omega block pattern that we got going on here. This whole thing is saying, yep, nope, you're not going to pass. You're not going to start any storms here. So that's kind of what we're having happen right there is all that clearing. We ain't got anything going on. Now, If we show the GFS a little bit further, now take a look out here. This is like, ooh, this might be something. If this ejects and goes farther to the east, oh, that would be great. But at least from a storm chaser standpoint. But as you can see, it just whittles away and is not nearly as intense. Again, I believe that's because of that omega block pattern that we just cannot get out of. It's great for summertime weather because you love to go to the pool, get a suntan or whatever. But man, that heat is going to be pretty intense. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of that heat. Let me see if I can bring one thing up here. It might show us what our heat patterns are going to be. Show you that here one moment. All right, so here's what we're kind of seeing as far as the GFS goes. If we show this, you can see that major heat in their 90s, continuing to see that omega block pattern with all the crazy temps. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. As we get into Monday the 12th. Again, 80s and 90s for the northern part of the U.S. is crazy, and then down in we're going to be approaching 100 plus probably by the first part of next week in areas of like Texas. Look at that, 100 degrees, just crazy. And then you can see kind of a front trying to get going through there, but makes it a little difficult. It just kind of gets scattered. We're going through a long ways here, but I think this omega block pattern is going to kind of stay with us for a while. Maybe the end of May. Let me take a look at this here. One second. Um, all right, so let's take a look. So what it has here is it's showing a lot of, this is a supercell composite parameters. It's showing that there's a possibility of some major storms as we get into the 16th through the 22nd in a lot of these different areas. This is just a supercell composite week 2 CFS. Um, this is highly controversial thing. A lot of people don't believe it a whole lot because it changes so often, but it's still something that we need to take a look at. And then if we go into the end of May, so this would be the 23rd through the 29th, as you can see, Oklahoma, areas of Kansas, really under the gun for a lot of severe weather. The intensity is based on the reds, so lots of stuff going on. Thanks, Jeff. All right, so I am going to let y'all go. I'm making it a short one here. The reason why I'm making it a short one is I got a lot of stuff that I got to still do for the garden. I've got a lot of things that I got to program for the live in case something does come up the 14th and the 15th. Again, it's a kind of a difficult to say if it's really gonna. How's southern Wisconsin looking? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. We want to shut this off here. Go back to my main scene here. Um, all right, let's go ahead and go to the radar. As far as Wisconsin goes, no problem, Rebecca. That's okay. So southern Wisconsin, you don't have any storms that you're expecting today, tomorrow, or even Sunday. There is possibility of some changes happening sometime late next week for Wisconsin area, and then into the later part of May. So just stay weather aware. We're going to do these daily live updates, but I'm going to let y'all go, and I will be back tomorrow morning. Going to expect it to be a pretty boring day today. The only exception would be, you're welcome, Rebecca. The only exception would be a possibility of some hail in the areas of Virginia and North Carolina, and even in the panhandle and east coast line of Florida today. So if you have any folks that live in the Florida or the Virginia area, make sure that they're staying weather aware. We'll do one last loop of what the HRRR is showing here. It's really having a struggle, though, to pick up on anything real significant. We'll take a look at North Carolina and Georgia, or North Carolina and Virginia first. As you can see, this is sometime after 2 o'clock in the Richmond area. Few brief storms, very brief. Having a hard time getting that picked up. And then if we move on down here, this is where more of the intense storms are expected. And I don't mean to say super intense, but sometime this afternoon in New Orleans, areas of Baton Rouge, Mobile, Alabama, you're expecting to have possibilities, even Pensacola. You could end up having off the coastline here, Moss Point area, I-10, Biloxi. Could have some pretty intense storms, even some spin ups down here. This is the tornado risk outlined in the green, so just be mindful of that. Southern Alabama, sometime after afternoon hours. If we take a look at the satellite loop, you're probably seeing some cloud cover, but trying to get some clearing going there. Yeah, it's starting to clear out. So eventually this is going to all clear out and get to the point uh, where it's going to fuel and get that moisture moving on in. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will be back tomorrow. God bless, stay safe, and enjoy your day. Again, look for me to possibly do some storm chasing next week. I've got the days on standby at work. So if severe weather mode should happen to get close enough to my neck of the woods of South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, I'll definitely be going live through